Public speaking is a great art and an important skill for anyone who wants to excel well in their life. Public speaking is a very sought after skill. I mean, the most desired and useful skill for the working class, company executives, managers, basically for everyone. To learn public speaking skills, we have two eminent personalities, two experienced academicians who do good community service for the greater good of the students' community and the public at large. I'll be raising a few questions to both of them to get their expert opinion for enabling all of you to become excellent public speakers. Shall we get started?
Okay, Dr. K. Mohammed, becoming a public speaker is really an added advantage to a person. Can you tell us what are the requirements to become a public speaker?
Well, it's a good question to start with. I mean, every every aspirant speaker, he has to first improve his, language skills. Whichever the language he speaks, whether it's Tamil, if he's a Tamil speaker in Tamil or English, you should have the proficiency in their language. That's the first requirement. Then the communication skills, how to speak well, how to behave well in front of others while speaking. That's the second important thing. And the third aspect one has to improve upon is the body language, the whole aspect of the facial expression and the gesture, the hand movements, and the posture, how he stands in front of the public. And the whole body that counts before the public, that he stands in front of the public speaking. So these are some of the aspects one has to learn to improve upon to become a public speaker.
Dr. George, what would you say? Can you tell us the requirements that you think are needed to become a public speaker?
Absolutely. I agree with all the points that Dr. P. Mohammed put forward. In addition to that, I would like every public speaker to know another thing, that is, he or she must know their audience. For example, a public speaker delivering a short speech in front of an audience consisting of professionals, he should also sound professional. If he delivers a speech in front of a group of children, he should just bring down his standard, and he should make sure that whatever he tries to get across to the audience reaches the audience loud and clear. So that's the most important thing, in addition to what Dr. P. Mohammed said a while ago.
Yeah, you are right, Dr. George. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, both of you. The next question is, why are people afraid of public speaking? In other words, can you explain the reasons for people's fear of public speaking? Dr. P. Mohammed?
Well, okay, to start with, it's generally around 75 to 80% of people, when you ask them to come to the stage, they will run away. It's a fear of unknown. They fear of, standing in front of the public, in front of the stage. And also lack of practice. No one is, practiced speaker. So when they come to the stage, they become nervous, they become fearful, they are afraid of the audience. So there are so many factors. So they have to overcome the stage fright. What they have to do, whatever the nervousness they develop, they should be able to overcome that. So that's the important thing that they should keep it in mind.
Dr. George, can you explain the reasons for people's fear of public speaking?
Absolutely. All those points put forward by Dr. P. Mohammed are pretty valid. In addition to those points, I would like to say that the speakers are under an illusion. They think that the audience members are out there to criticize them, to look down upon them, to point, accusing fingers at them. And also they feel that probably their performance may not match the expectation of the audience members. This makes them nervous and they are not able to perform well. So all they need to do is to eliminate or get rid of this unnecessary, unfounded, baseless fear. The audience members are, in fact, are very supportive and they are there to help you deliver the speech. So this is the first impression that the speaker has to take into consideration.
Right.
Right.
Dr. P. Mohammed, is there any strategy to adopt to improve one's public speaking?
Well, it's a very excellent question, and what I call it as 10 P's. Okay, what I mean to say, the first P stands for plan. Planning is very, very important for whether it's speaking or writing or anything, whatever you do, there should be a proper planning. So that makes the difference in your speaking. The second P is the preparation. Once you plan, you have to prepare well. You know, your speech should be organized. How to make your speech organized? Your speech, you should give importance to the preparation. And the third one is the practice. I will say practice means it's everything for your speech. You must practice well before you are speaking. The next thing is the preview. What I mean by preview is, you know, before you go in front of the public, make a presentation by yourself before you go to in front of the public. And the next one is the presentation, that is during in front of the people and the public. And then the next P is presentation aids. You can use presentation aids that will make your speech much easier for you. Okay, it's an aid that helps you to present by audiovisual means. And the next one is P is the pause. When you are presenting, make pauses in your speech. That will, you know, punctuate your speech, and your speech will be far more powerful and effective in front of the public. And another P is the posture. When you are speaking, standing in front of the people, the way you stand, it counts a lot. When you are standing, people are judging how you are standing, whether, you know, you are beaming confidence. So if you stand very confidently, that will be reflected in your posture. And the last P is the post view. What I mean by post view is, you know, after your presentation, you review your speech. Okay, how you spoke, analyze your speech, whether you spoke well, and what are the things you spoke well, what are the things you have to improve upon. That factor is the post view. These are the 10 Ps. If you concentrate on these 10 Ps, your speech will be excellent.
Okay, that's very interesting. Dr. George, how would you say one can improve one's public speaking skills?
I absolutely agree with Professor Peer Mohammed on all those vital Ps. In addition to that, I would like to add an M. M stands for mentoring. You know, before you begin to deliver a speech, you should look for someone who is already into the field of public speaking, a person who has mastered the art of public speaking. You
Right.
try to make friends with that person, request him to be your mentor. A mentor can make wonderful things for you. And therefore, a mentor can guide you as to how to make the speech really effective and what are the do's and don'ts, everything he will talk about. And therefore, the most important thing, in addition to those 10 Ps, is keeping a mentor just handy. Whenever you need some help, the mentor will just come in handy. That's
true.
one thing. And also, in addition to that, of course, the mentor can be your guide, your counselor, your friend and philosopher, everyone, all rolled into one. There could also be an evaluator. You know, as you deliver your speech, of course, it comes under the broad frame of whatever Professor Peer just observed a while ago. I would say there should be an evaluator. He will certainly give you positive feedback, constructive feedback. Feedback enables a speaker to perform better every time he's up on the stage. So a mentor and an evaluator are two inevitable persons for a beginner in public speaking.
Excellent. You are right. Yes.
All right. Dr. Peer Mohammed, how do we overcome the fear or presentation anxiety? How do we overcome this fear?
Okay. You know, this is the common problem with everyone. Feeling nervous is a common problem. And people feel nervous. It's quite natural and normal. Okay. So what you can do, why people, first of all, become nervous, the reason is they have some negative thoughts about themselves. They think that I'm not good enough. I'm not looking good. My language is not, it's not good. People may laugh at me. I may make mistakes in front of the public. These kind of feelings and these kind of thinking pulls them down. So if you overcome these negative thoughts, then things will be normal. What you can do, you should feel that you are speaking well. You should imbibe some positivity in you. You must think positive. Then things will be normal. Okay. Another thing that you can do is, breathing exercise. What you can do before you go for speaking, you should have long breathing. And on everyday basis, you can do breathing exercise. That will make you feel very comfortable in front of the public when you are speaking. Okay. And another thing, as we discussed earlier, practice. Practice every day. Before you go to the, in front of the public, you record your speech. You make a, nowadays it's very easy with your mobile phone. You can record yourself and see how you are performing and improve upon. So you can have a lot of practice before you go to in front of the audience. So these are some of the things. If you apply, then all the things will be normal for you and easy for you.
All right. Would you like to add something to that, Dr. George? How do you overcome fear or anxiety?
Yeah, I agree with Professor Peer Mohammed on all those valid points. In addition to that, I would like to say that every aspiring speaker can convert these negative emotions, nervousness, into positive, constructive energy. For example, a nervous person can make use of his nervousness as part of his body language. And people will certainly give a belly laugh. That will make him feel more comfortable in front of the audience. That's one thing. Converting the nervousness into constructive energy. That is one thing. And the second thing is, he or she should always go for a dress rehearsal. Dress rehearsal means he or she should certainly be on the stage, at least an imaginary stage. And he should just imagine that there is an audience sitting in front of him, observing him, listening to his speech. So he should just have a couple of dress rehearsals, which will also to some extent not eliminate, minimize the nervousness and fear. But they think that, as Professor Pierre pointed out, the fear of the unknown is going to strike them. So these are the simple tips and techniques for them to be able to overcome this nervousness.
Right.
Excellent.
Right.
I mean, Dr. George told is really, very excellent. And also, Dr. George, before the presentation, they can go to the stage if it's possible. They can stand.
Yeah.
That will add some more easiness for the speaker to speak well. Yeah, it's an excellent idea. Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Dr. Peer, what are the do's and don'ts for a speaker who is attempting a public speech?
Okay, well, I will take this question in a way that I will only speak about the do's, rather than telling about the don'ts, which I don't like. I'm a positive thinker. So the first do is be organized in your speech and concise. Okay. The second important thing is the eye contact. That is very important. When you are speaking, give eye contact. If you are a new speaker, if you think that looking into the eye will make you feel nervous, when you are speaking, you are standing in front of so many hundreds of eyes. So that may make you feel a bit nervous. If you feel like that, then what you do, just look at the heads of the people. So when you are standing on the stage, it will give an impression that you are looking at the audience eyes. Okay. So this way you can manage the eye contact. And the next one is present simply. Simple way of talking reaches far and wide. Okay, that's the important thing. And another thing, as we discussed earlier, the body language that counts a lot. Have a very effective and enhanced body language that will show that you are very confident in front of the public. And the last one is the voice culture, how you use your voice, how you raise your voice, how you lower your voice, how you make your voice loud. There is a variety of voice. That voice culture also make you an effective speaker in front of the public.
All right. And Dr. George, would you like to say the do's and don'ts?
Your father, Dr. Peer Mohammed has beautifully summed up the do's. Let me just take up a couple of don'ts. For example, the speaker has to be very careful about the choice of words. He should make sure that none of his words are really offensive to the listeners. And he should also stay away from subjects that are considered to be taboo. All right, politics, sex, religion, etc. Because certainly a public speaker is going to address an audience consisting of people coming from different backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, political affiliations, and so on. So the best thing is to keep out of these three areas. He should try to be as refined as possible, sound as impartial as possible, and he should focus more on the message.
Excellent.
That's
Excellent.
what I would like to add. Yeah.
Right. You are right. Yes.
Go ahead, please.
To add to that, and as everybody agrees, the speaker should be short and sweet. A short speech delivered within 7 minutes will reach the audience members loud and clear. and everybody will enjoy listening to a short speech. But if the speaker delivers a speech that is monotonously long, probably the audience members will tune out. That shouldn't happen, especially for a beginner, a person who is just into public speaking. Yeah.
Right.
Excellent. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a very fun and casual session. Why don't we talk about the very technical areas of speech making? Dr. George, I'd like to start with you. What are the different types of speech?
Well, basically, there are 4 different types of speech. One can speak to inform, one can speak to entertain, one can speak to motivate, and one can also speak to inspire. For example, I would like to just inform an audience about the new trends in fashion, okay, wearing fashionable clothes. Now, probably people may not be aware of the existing trend. So I just share with them a piece of information that might be very relevant to their requirements. So here is a speech that is designed and developed to inform the audience. Or sometimes there are people who are delivering technical presentations. They have a specialized audience. So they are there to inform the audience information. And the second one is to entertain, the so-called humorous speeches. The sole purpose is just to entertain, to make the audience members laugh. All right, just to have them give a couple of belly laughs, bringing in some lighter moments and so on. Basically, or usually, and the speaker doesn't care about a serious message. But then again, he has to be very careful about the choice of words and the language employed. They're very important. And a speech to motivate, for example, a speaker is addressing a group of students, university students, and he's talking about the importance of overcoming failures or battling the blues caused by pandemic lockdown and so on. So there he has to motivate, and he has to drive home a particular valid point. He has to persuade the audience members to adopt his viewpoint. If he succeeds in that, his speech has proved to be really motivational. And last but not the least is the inspirational speeches. You can always inspire somebody through a call to action, but by using appropriate words, by using the courage of conviction. If the point is delivered and got across to the audience members, they are inspired to do something noble, something great, something for the society, and so on. So these are basically the 4 types of speeches.
Okay,
Excellent.
Thank you so much for such a descriptive answer. Dr. Peer Mohammed, would you like to say what are the different types of speeches?
Yeah, what Dr. George told, it broadly covers, all the aspects of what you want to perform in front of the public. Information, that is the most important thing that by which we can inform the people in our speech. And the next thing you spoke about the motivation and the inspiration and the entertainment. These are the broad areas by which we can cover most of our, speaking aspect. It's excellent. What you told is perfectly fabulous. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next question. Dr. George, how do we draft a speech? If a beginner wants to learn how to draft a speech, what are the things that he should know?
Absolutely. As Professor Peer Mohammed pointed at the beginning, the speaker has to have the rudiments or the basic language skills to be able to construct sentences and organize the sentences into paragraphs. And then he should also be able to just build a speech, a broad speech. And first of all, he should just work on a broad outline after selecting and settling for the subject matter. And there should be an introduction, there should be a body, and a conclusion. In the introduction, the speaker has to say what he's going to say. In the body, he has to say what he said he would say. And in the conclusion, he should say what he said. He will sum up. All the 3 important components of a speech should be integrally interrelated. So this should be the picture in his mind, in his or her mind. I always say his mind, in the mind of the speaker. So the structure of the speech. Once he's ready or she's ready with that structure, and he should just look for the appropriate words to fill in these three areas. Introduction, what should come in the introduction, and what should go into the body of the speech, and what should be part of the conclusion. Introduction is just an announcement of the arrival. The person delivering a speech should just immediately just connect with the audience members, and he should echo what he is going to talk about in the subsequent passages, paragraphs. And that's what he does. And basically, the body of the speech is the story. Stories are sticking, as everybody agrees. Therefore, the speaker has to come up with a personal story. That's always a good idea, to be able to connect with the audience members. And finally, in the concluding part, he should sum up, reinforce the main ideas, and preferably there could be a call to action, a point to drive home, and what the speaker says at the end has to be pretty firm and strong, and it should be well delivered. With all those points in mind, he should start writing the speech. Did I confuse you? No.
No, it's very clear.
Okay.
What you told is excellent. Okay. Yeah. Let me endorse, what Dr. George told is, it's perfect. I mean, whether it's writing or speaking, the structure of the speech is introduction and body and conclusion. This is the basic structure. Speaking or writing, it is the same. So Dr. George beautifully explained. So in the introduction, you should have a hook to attract the attention of the audience, and in the body is the main story, as Dr. George rightly told, and the conclusion, you must make an impact by your opinion or your views or what you spoke in the body. He explained very beautifully. Okay. Yeah.
So Dr. George, what should be the speech content for beginners? If a beginner is starting to write a speech, what should he keep in mind?
Absolutely, that's a very good question, because people at the end of the day will write speeches on any subject. That shouldn't be the case. I would like to suggest that the speech content be a subject very close to the speaker's heart. For example, I have a hobby, the hobby of reading, for example. I can quickly grab that subject, develop a speech around it, and deliver it. I will do full justice. That doesn't mean that I should stay stuck there. I can move on and on and on. For beginners, my advice would be select a subject that is close to your heart and develop a short speech that runs to about 700 words, which the speaker can comfortably complete in less than 7 minutes. And while doing so, he enjoys delivering the speech. Therefore, the speech content should be on any subject matter, but that should be close to the heart of the speaker. That is my recommendation.
All right. Dr. Peer Mohammed, what should you think the speech content for beginners should be?
He is perfectly all right. There should be a passion for your speaking. When you speak, you should have natural passion. You should have that attitude, then only you can speak well. Yeah, it's perfectly all right. I agree with him. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Let's go to the next question, Dr. George. How do we deliver a speech effectively?
Well, to deliver a speech, Dr. Peer Mohammed shared with us some 10 points. He covered most of the points, so I'm not going to dwell upon them. For a speaker to be able to deliver a speech very effectively, he should practice very well first. As I already told you, he should have the mentor's advice and guidance, and practice at least 100 times before he delivers the speech in front of an audience. That is point number one. While delivering, he should use the appropriate body language. Sometimes a new speaker stands frozen, remains rooted to the spot. That should be avoided. And he should practice moving to the right and left. When he moves to the left side of the stage, he should focus on the audience members on the left side. When he moves back to the center, he should focus on the audience members sitting right in front of him. When he moves to the right side, he should focus on the audience members sitting on the right side. This is called stage movement. One step to the left, one to the right, then back to the center. This is point number 2. And point number 3, he should have a little smile on his face. Wear a little smile. You can easily resonate with the audience members. The moment you smile, the audience members will smile. There'll be an exchange of smiles. And if possible, let the speaker try to be a little humorous. Crack a joke or two in order to connect with the audience members. If the speech is all serious, then probably there'll be a risk of a disconnect. In order to eliminate that disconnect and be able to connect with the audience members, it's always a good idea to wear a little smile and be a little humorous. These 2 are very important for a beginner. So to sum up, stage movement is very important, use of the stage. Wearing a smile is very important. And more important, sound a little humorous. This will certainly help the speaker to deliver the more serious part of his speech. This way, the speech can be made more effective. And by the way, just one more quick point, sir. Sorry for the interruption.
Sure, go ahead.
And the speaker should also remember another important thing, the pace. Pace means the number of words that he or she speaks in a minute. Experts on public speaking recommend 120 words per minute. If the speaker goes well beyond that, probably the audience, he may end up losing the audience members. Audience members may not be able to catch up with the speaker. So the pace should be somewhere between 100 and 120 words. Then it is called an ideal pace. This will also contribute to the effectiveness of the speech. Yes, Dr. P.
All right.
Excellent. And Dr. George, what you told about the stage management and the speech management, it's excellent view. And he told, how to manage the eye contact moving from left, middle, and right, so that you can cover the entire audience. You can cover them. You can satisfy their, you can say psyche, or you can their ego, and you can make them feel that you are giving importance to the entire audience. And that is really excellent. And also, he spoke about the speed of the speech. That is the pace. That is also very, very important. It's a very critical area. We don't know. It's a wide mix of all kind of audience. So you have to, you must know the audience, as Dr. George he told in the beginning. That's important. Okay. And especially, I want to supplement only one thing. If you are a new speaker, to make your speech effective, if you feel that nervous, you can use the index cards. It comes in various colors, and you can use this. It will make you feel very comfortable. Okay, this is one of the way. You can write the points, and if you feel like forgetting or something, you can look into the card and you can speak. So this is for the new speakers at TP. If you are an expert speaker, as Dr. George told, you can go ahead. Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That will be kind of help for the new speaker.
Yeah.
Dr. George, I want to ask you regarding the index cards. Do you think it actually serves as an aid to the speaker, or it could cause distraction to the speaker?
Certainly, it is likely to cause a little distraction to the audience members, as well as to the speaker. But as Dr. P. Muhammad pointed out, if he's absolutely helpless, he hasn't been able to internalize or memorize the speech, then he's likely to forget an idea or two, and he may get stuck and be frozen. In order to avoid that embarrassing situation, the best thing available is to use the index cards. And he should not just read from those cards. He can have a look and then speak. And he doesn't need to just keep the cards constantly in his hand. Rather, he can just leave them on the lectern, on the podium, or leave them into the pocket. Something can be done. But this only enables him to recall and remember the points that he may have forgotten.
And also, Dr. George, I have observed, even President Trump, sometimes, he brings a A4 size paper, he folds in two and keeps inside his, coat pocket. So it takes from it and uses that. So it's not unprofessional or anything, Basreen, and it's a kind of, professionalism. This is also kind
But
of
I think as a politician, when he has to discuss very important things, he's allowed to do so.
That's what I'm telling. It's a kind of safeguard not to forget your points. Whether you are a politician or
Absolutely.
speaker or anything, businessman, you can keep it in
Yeah.
cards. If you can speak, you speak. If you forget, take it out and you can you can refer to the points and you can speak. That's the point here.
And just one more point. Most of the politicians around the world are very poor public speakers. And they need the help of the teleprompters. You know, there are two teleprompters, one on the right, one on the left. They constantly look on the left, look on the right. They never look straight. The secret is simple. There is one teleprompter on the right, one on the left. They look at so that they think that they will not miss out any points.
And
But
also, sorry, please continue, Dr. Jar. Continue, please.
As Dr. Peer
And also,
pointed out,
most of the speech is not spoken by them. It is written by someone else. Some, governmental bureaucrats is writing. Everything is scripted and everything is, kept ready, as you told, teleprompter, one on the right, one on the left. And people doesn't know, it's a kind of glass, only those speakers, they know both the side and two sides, it will be this angle. Okay.
Yeah.
So from that they read. Exactly. They look this side, there will be prompt, teleprompter this side, and they look this side, there will be teleprompter. They look only two sides. Okay.
Exactly.
And they read.
Now we are talking about holistic speech writing and speech delivering. Therefore, the speaker has to draft a speech, he has to practice the speech, he has to memorize the contents, he has to internalize the key points, then he has to deliver.
Yeah.
It's a complete package. And therefore, a new speaker doing the work very sincerely and seriously can never, ever be comparable with the politicians around the world.
And do you know, Ms. Basrin, we have spoken more than many hundreds of meetings. Dr. George is an excellent humorous speaker. No one can speak like that. Okay. Also, I have conducted many business meetings, and I do very professional. I don't want to say about myself. I don't know about myself, but I'm sure Dr. George, he speaks many humorous speeches. He is an expert in that. I mean, in future, we will organize a speech like that, and I also will supplement, one or two jokes with him.
Sure.
He can continue for speech, hours. Okay, he's an expert in that. Yeah. So please don't underestimate us. Please don't underestimate us, Basrin, and we are good speakers, not excellent speakers. Good speakers.
All right. I never said anything about underestimating you two, but okay.
I know, but the hostess is a pretty good speaker, very effective speaker, and nothing can stop her from winning a speech.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Dr. George, should there be a takeaway?
I think I would always say yes. The reason behind this, for every job that you perform, everything that you do, there should be a purpose. Now we are sitting here in this little studio talking about how to draft a speech, how to deliver a speech, and whether or not there should be a takeaway and so on and so forth. There is a purpose behind. The purpose is just to enable the aspiring, promising, prospective young speakers to become great speakers. So this is how they can take the first little baby step. So we are discussing there is a purpose behind. Therefore, there should be a purpose in every speech. And the purpose is nothing but the takeaway, the message. Now, why did I deliver a speech spending about 10 minutes? In order to convince my audience members of the importance of humor in life, of the importance of helping each other, of the importance of commitment to hard work, and so on and so forth. Therefore, I cannot just create a speech in the void, in the vacuum. There should be a purpose, there should be a story, there should be some characters, and so on and so forth. So I think a takeaway is a key component in every speech that a speaker delivers in front of an audience. And the audience members are looking forward to listening to that takeaway, the final takeaway. That's very important.
Dr. P. Mohammed, would you like to say something?
He tells the excellent thing. I mean, speaking ability is a kind of, value addition to a person. And I totally agree with him. Okay. Yeah. And only one thing I want to tell you, which I missed you. If you want to become a good speaker, this is advice for the new speakers. You have to listen a lot. There is a connection between listening and speaking. And also, if you want to become a good writer, you have to read a lot. Dr. George mentioned about, reading as this habit. But, I feel sorry for the younger generation. You young people don't read a lot. This is a universal problem all over the world. Nowadays, younger generation is glued to mobile phone. 24 hours they are sitting with the mobile phone, taking selfies, participating in the Snapchat, and what is a TikTok, and taking the video about your own selves and asking for people to give likes, begging for likes. This is what the life is going on with the younger generation. So I'm not making fun of you. I tell you to raise to the occasion. You have a lot of energy. Don't waste that energy. And we are here to help you out to improve your speaking ability. As I told you in the beginning, around 80% people, they are afraid of the stage. We are here to help you to overcome the stage fright. We are here to help you to become a good public speaker and utilize this opportunity. And in case the opportunity, become a good speaker. As Dr. George rightly told you, it will add value to your personality. There'll be value addition to your CV, to everything and whatnot. So this is the message for the younger generation from me. May Dr. George, do you want to give any message to the younger generation?
Absolutely. As you know, we call it discourse in general. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. All the 4 skills are very important. And for a young speaker to be able to speak effectively in front of an audience, he or she should be able to listen very carefully. Listen to somebody speaking unbiased. You should have an empty mind, and then you should listen without prejudice or bias. You should try to understand, evaluate the speech, and benefit from that. Listening is very important for every successful speaker. And secondly, in order for you to be able to enrich your speech, to add variety to your speech, you should be able to read. Read very well. Catch up with the latest developments taking place around the world. Read newspaper, read books, novels, etc. And watch beautiful, lovely television programs. All these will collectively contribute to the success of a great public speaker. So I would like to request the young generation of aspiring speakers to be very focused on all these areas. If they do so, they are going to be very successful entrepreneurs, social workers, leaders, probably, who knows, they might be even university professors.
Well, I'd like to thank the both of you for spending your precious time in imparting your knowledge and your expertise in public speaking. Thank you, Dr. George, for joining us, and thank you, Dr. Peer Mohammed, for joining us as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
It's a pleasure.